Hello class, welcome to Deliverable number 3, hosting a simple website in our web server. So in Deliverable number 2, we set up a web server and we put a example site that says one thing only. But now we are going to create a website and then upload it to our web server to simulate how things work. So if you want to see an example, you can always go to my example GitHub repository, where you can see how all of this is supposed to look already. So what I'm gonna do is that I am going to go over this and then we're gonna see what I'm talking about. So let me zoom in a little bit on this. So create a simple resume of yourself. Here's an example. So if we go over here, this is what I'm looking for. Something as simple as this. It can be more complicated, but honestly this is good enough. You got to this point, you get 100, that's fine. You do not need to include a photo of yourself. That is true. You can just use a template photo. For example, you can go to pexels.com. Here, copy. Let's go to pexels.com and simply put profile picture. Right? And then pick a profile picture from whatever you like. If you need to resize the image, use an online image resizing tool and then resize it to fit whatever your desired width and height will be. Once you have created the markdown file, because you're supposed to create the resume in markdown, not in HTML, convert it to HTML. This is gonna make it very easy, especially if you have never taken any web development classes, because that's not your major. If you want to do the whole thing in HTML, then by all means, go ahead, you can do it, that's fine. But since we already know Markdown, it makes more sense for us to write it in Markdown. Remember, this is not new. You already did this when you were doing the first lab for me here, lab number 1, right? One of the things that you did there was actually formatting a resume. All you have to do now is write one, which shouldn't take you that long. Now, once you have completed that, you're going to compress the files into a single archive. This is going to make it easy for us to upload to the server. Send the files to the server. I'm going to show you how you're going to do that. There are multiple ways of doing it, but we are going to do it the simplest way possible. Once you have transferred those files to the archive, we're going to do some work over there. At the end, what you're going to do, what you're going to give me as a deliverable for this is the URL to your GitHub repository. Then you're going to take a screenshot of your website running and you're going to put it there as well, and I'm going to go take a look, and if I find all of those files there, congratulations, you finished your final project, you got 100. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's open VS Code. And this here is my example repository. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to navigate to Final Project, Deliverable number 3, Option 1, and here is my resume.md. This is the file that I created. So I'm going to open this, and here's how the Markdown preview looks like. Again, you have access to this repository so that you can use it as an example for yourself. Right? Once this is complete, it's just a matter of exporting to HTML. Once you have the HTML file, the image of the template image that you use, or a picture of yourself, and the HTML file, we're going to compress all of this into a single file. So I'm going to close VS Code. Actually, I'm going to minimize it because I'm going to do some things here. Now open a file manager, CIS 106, Final Project, Deliverable 3, Option 1, and then over here, let me get rid of this. All you have to do is select all your files, right click, and then compress. Zip, give it a name. I'm gonna call mine my website. You can give it any name you like. Notice that I use no spaces in here to make my life easier. Okay, once this is done, we're gonna send all of this to GitHub. It's gonna be very important. So we're gonna open this again, and what we're gonna do here is simple. Git add period, git commit -m finished resume, and then git push. And once it's done, we are gonna then go to Windows, right? So I can just minimize this, And now in Windows, I'm gonna navigate to my repository on GitHub, and I'm gonna look for that zip file that we just created. I click on the zip file, and I'm gonna download the zip file, right? I already have the file downloaded, but all you have to do is click here, and you're gonna see the download over here. Let me just open this. I wanna get rid of this, and good. Now, what we are going to do is make sure that you take a snapshot of your server once you complete deliverable number 2. Once you have the snapshot created, we're gonna start the server. I'm gonna do headless start. Over here, I'm going to be using port forwarding, but once I finish this, I will go back and do the same thing with a bridge network adapter, just in case you're using a bridge network adapter, so the instructions can match one-to-one to your setup. Once the server is up and running, I'm gonna open my Windows terminal, and then I'm gonna use SCP, right, to send the file that is in my downloads folder to my folder in the server. Now, how do we do this? Quite simple. I'm gonna navigate to the downloads folder in my Windows computer, and then I'm gonna type SCP minus capital P, and then specify the port. Since I'm using port forwarding, I specify 2222. And here we're gonna type the file that we're gonna send to the server, right? Mine is called mywebsite.zip. Then from here, we need to provide the username of our server, which is webmaster, and then localhost, or 127.0.0.1, right? And then we follow that by colon. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Yep. Good. Colon, and then the path where our web server serves the website. That will be var www, and then my website. Here we're gonna press enter, provide our password for our user, and the file should upload. Now I am going to connect to my server SSH -p 2022 and then pccc. Now that I'm connected to the server, I am going to navigate to var my website. If we do ls over here, you're gonna see that you have your index.html file and my website.zip. I'm gonna get rid of index.html. It's not needed anymore. And I'm going to unzip my website.zip and simply type unzip and my website.zip. It's not installed, so let's install the program. Sudo apt install unzip. Okay, now we should be able to unzip the file. Let's type ls, and that HTML file is gonna be renamed. So we're gonna do mv resume.html, and we're gonna call it index.html. It's done. Now, if we go to a web browser and we type 127.0.0.1 port 8080, it should take us to our website. This is what you're gonna take a screenshot of. Make sure you save this because you need to upload this to your GitHub repository. So take the screenshot. Let me just do it right away. I'm just gonna change this to Windows snip. Okay, now I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna put it in my desktop. Deliverable 3. And now we can just drag and drop this file to our repository. I might not have guest additions properly installed in this virtual machine. Okay, let's see if we can troubleshoot this real quick. Machine settings, Yep, it's set correctly to bidirectional. So let me set the drag and drop from host to guest. Try a different folder. Not gonna work. Oh, okay. I guess we're gonna have to use SCP again for this. So that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a try with SCP. So I'm gonna place this again in my downloads folder because I'm already there. Okay, now I need to find out the IP address of this virtual machine, and this virtual machine is already using a bridge network adapter. So I'm gonna go to terminal and type IP ADDR. So the IP address of this machine is 192.168.86 over here. Okay, I'm also gonna do this another way so that you have another example as well. So I'm gonna exit here, and I'm gonna do SCP. The file that I need to copy is called Deliverable to Deliverable3.png. Okay, and I'm sending this to the user .192.168.1.86, and this is gonna be placed in home CIS 106. Okay, I'm just gonna place it there for now. I probably don't have the OpenSSH enabled here, so let's do sudo apt install. I think the package is called SSH. If not, it's called OpenSSH. Nope, SSH. Almost done. Okay. There you go. And I have my file over here already. So I'm just gonna move this to the proper place. Final project, Deliverable 3, option 1. Okay, another way that we can do this as well is directly uploading it to our GitHub repository. So I'm gonna go and open my repository one more time. And click over here, add a file, create new file, upload file. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this file from here so I don't have a conflict. And then commit changes. Now, because I made a change on the web browser to my repository, right? My repo on the cloud, on GitHub, is ahead from what I have on my desktop. So what I need to do now is I need to pull those changes. I need to pull that new file that was added. So all I need to do is git pull. And now both my repository on my Ubuntu virtual machine and on GitHub are one-to-one. Now I can continue working over here in my machine. Does that make sense? Now, I did all of this because drag and drop wasn't working and I didn't want to spend time trying to fix drag and drop on this Windows computer. So if you're having the same problem, again, there are multiple ways of getting this done. You can email the file to yourself and then download it on your computer. I show you 2 ways of getting that file in your virtual machine. I'm pretty sure you can come up with other ways. Now, once you get to this point, you finish your deliverable number 3. You can simply give me the files that I requested, which is the URL to your repository, including that screenshot, and you're done. Now, if you were using Bridge Network Adapter, we're gonna do the same thing now with Bridge Network Adapter. So what I'm gonna do now is I need to change the adapter in this machine. So we can just go here, settings, network, and I'm gonna set it to bridge. Okay, now this machine has a Bridge Network Adapter. I can no longer connect to the machine using port forwarding because it's disabled. So I can simply do SSH. I don't remember the IP address of this machine anymore. So let's show it and get the IP address. Webmaster. Okay, 192.168.1.85. So that would be webmaster at 192.168.1.85. Oh, okay, so we can connect to the virtual machine with no problem. I'm gonna exit, and again, I am going to upload the file to the server. But before, let me do some cleanup so that we don't have an issue. So cd var www html. Nope, we need to go to cd my website. Okay, so this, we're gonna get rid of everything that's inside here so that I can upload things correctly. So in your case, you're gonna have their index.html. So I'm gonna exit, and now we're gonna do SCP one more time, right? It's very simple to this one, so we're just gonna modify this command. We are gonna send this to webmaster at 192.168.1.85 colon, and then var www my website, and the file that we are sending to the server is my website.zip. Press enter over here, and that's it. We're gonna connect to the server one more time. And then we're gonna navigate to var www my website, and over here we're gonna do the same thing I showed before. We're going to unzip my website.zip, right? Remember to install the unzip program in your computer, and then we're gonna rename resume.html to index.html. Remember, if you already have an index.html file in that folder, you must delete it. So now that I have all my stuff here, I can go to a web browser and simply type 192.168.1.85, and I should see my website here. Again, same thing. We're gonna just take a screenshot. I'm gonna put it to Windows Snip, new, click, save the screenshot, upload it to your repository. So we're gonna do this, save. I'm gonna call this deliverable 3. Put it in downloads. I'm just gonna delete this one. And then we're gonna upload this to our repository. So we're gonna navigate to the proper folder, final project, deliverable 3, option 1, and now we just need to upload it over here. So what I'm going to do now is I am gonna delete this because I don't want a conflict. This is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm gonna go back to my repo and I'm gonna delete this. Let's do another submit. Refresh, image is gone. So let's click add file, upload files, choose your file, Deliverable 3, open, commit changes. Now we're gonna go back to my virtual machine and I will pull those changes that I made so that both my computer and GitHub are on sync. Once you have done that, you have successfully completed your deliverable number 3. Give me the URL to your repo and I should be able to grade you from there. If you have any questions, you know exactly what to do. Slack me and we can hop on a call and troubleshoot together. Now, I am going to demonstrate option number 2. If you pick option number 1, you are done. You can close this video. But if you did option number 2, this is a chance for you. This is your demonstration over here of the final project Deliverable 3. So again, same thing as we did before. I'm going to go to final project Deliverable 3, option number 2. As you can see, I have more files over here than I had on the other one. We have an HTML file that was done from converting from HTML, and we have a markdown file. Again, I wrote all of this in markdown, which I would expect you to do the same thing. Just write it on markdown, right? Again, you need to be more verbose than what I was over here. This is just placeholder text. This required to actually list the commands over here. That's why I gave you URLs so that you know exactly what kind of screenshots I'm expecting and what kind of explanations I'm expecting from you over here. Once you have completed this markdown file, let's go back to GitHub real quick. Sorry, let's go back to VS Code. Once this markdown file is complete, convert it to HTML, and the process starts anew. We are going to then go to our repo, final project, Deliverable 3, option 2, and I need to compress all of this. So we are going to compress. We're gonna call this my website and create. Now we're gonna go to VS Code, git add period, git commit -m, option 2, and then git push. Okay. Here I have my website as zip. Click on it. Download. File has been downloaded. So again, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna upload that file to our website. So I am going to first, I'm gonna clean up my folder so that I know there is nothing in there. As you can see, inside website there is nothing, and I'm gonna exit my connection. I'm gonna do an example of using port forwarding first and then using a bridge network adapter second. So I'm gonna change this to NAT, click OK. Make sure that the proper ports are being forwarded, and then click OK. Click on OK. Open my Windows terminal, and over here this is the command that we are going to type. SCP, capital P, and the port is 2222. Then the file that we are sending, which is, oops, sorry, I need to go inside downloads first. CD, downloads, good. let's clear the screen real quick. CLS. Make sure that you go to downloads, because that's where I have my file. So I'm gonna do SCP -P, capital P, port 2222, my website.zip, then webmaster at 127.0.0.1 colon var www my website. Type your password, and the file should be inside this directory in the server. So now let's connect to the server. SSH -p webmaster at 127.0.0.1, and now I'm inside the server. So we're gonna do cd var www my website ls. Now we're going to unzip that file. Make sure that the unzip program is installed in your server, and the file that I need to rename is this one, right? From simplesite.html to index.html. So mv simplesite.html to index.html. Done. Now that you have completed this, when you go to your browser, all you have to do is 127.0.0.1 port 8080, and notice that here is our website already working. So take a screenshot of this, save it. I'm gonna call mine Deliverable 3 option 2. Now we're gonna go back to our repository, and then we're gonna upload the file. So in option 2, this is my deliverable folder, so I'm gonna put it over here. Add upload files, choose your files, this one, open, and commit changes. Now I'm gonna go to VS Code, and I'm gonna pull those changes again to synchronize GitHub and my PC. Before I do anything else, if I start working over here, before I pull, a mess is gonna happen. There is gonna be a problem right there. So we're gonna avoid that problem by first pulling those changes and then continue working. At this point, you are done. You are done. If you did option number 2, give me the URL to your GitHub repo, you completed your final project. If you did bridge network adapter instead of port forwarding, I'm gonna demonstrate that now. So I'm gonna minimize here, and what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna clean up a little bit because I need to do everything again, so I gotta clean up. Oh, just go cd var www index my website. Okay, perfect. So over here, I need to switch my network adapter to bridge to match your settings. So now I am able to connect to my machine without needing to use ports, any port forwarding at all. Notice that I use the actual IP address of the machine, and I am able to connect. So I'm going to exit here, and we're going to upload the file one more time. So SCP, the file that I need to upload is called my website.zip, and then the username is webmaster, located in 192.168.1.85, and the path will be var www my website. Press enter, type your password, the file is there. Now let's connect to the server so that we can decompress that. Now we're gonna go cd var www my website, enter, and over here we're gonna do unzip Windows is gonna kill me with that turururum. Sounds like it's singing some dembow. Beautiful. Now we're just gonna rename simple site. So mv simple site HTML to index.html, and the same thing goes on. So if you go to 192.168.1.85, you're gonna see your website over here. We take a screenshot and we upload this screenshot to our GitHub repository. So we're gonna go over here, and I upload it over here. So what I see here is that I'm gonna get rid of this just so that I can do a demonstration for you. So I am going to right click, delete. Then let's synchronize GitHub and our repository with git add period git commit -m demo and then push. If I refresh, now I can upload. Okay, again, we're going to VS Code and synchronize our PC. Git pull to get all those changes back. And you're done. You have completed your final project. Now, there are other ways of getting this done. I'm gonna prepare another video as well. If you found that this was long, well, it was long, to be honest, but there are other ways that we can do this as well. This just was the easy way, or the way that, you know, requires less setup. What we're gonna do next in the following video, which is not required, if you already did this, go and submit. If you're interested in the other video, that's fine, you can go watch it and everything, but you don't have to do none of this, right? I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. So we're gonna create a mount point of our server inside Windows so that we can drag and drop files to our server as we desire or as we want, right? So I'm gonna prepare that in a separate video. But for that, you are already done with your final project. Submit, and if you have any questions, if you're having any issues, reach out to me and we can do it together on a one-on-one where I can answer all your questions. I'll see you in class.